Funny that it's Essendon player testing positive or something, isn't it?
Pull your finger out of your ass.
Jeez.
This is my first ever football jumper. My three votes for Charlie. Oh, top of the world, mate.
What a time to be alive.
I look a bit like Nickel Bellic from GTA 4, I feel, with this.
That could get dangerous.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 58 of the Pressure Point podcast. Back for another week, another interesting round of footy, to say the least. Only a handful of games, and back. The emotions are back, and in more ways than one, that's for sure. But geez, I'm a bit flat, as I have been a lot of episodes this year.
I feel like this week more so than any other. It's been a common theme with Carlton supporters in recent times, but this week, especially from an outsider's point of view, I've noticed it's hit home a lot harder than usual. Yeah,
absolutely. It's I mean, with the external review and everything that's going on, and then to put in a performance like they did on the weekend was deplorable, pathetic. I mean, there's not enough words to describe what Carlton is at the moment, what they stand for. It's embarrassing, to be honest. But yeah, we may as well start there. Let's get it out of the way.
I feel awkward listening to it. It feels like you're giving a eulogy, and I'm just sitting here trying not to smirk. I'm not sure why I'd be smirking during a eulogy anyway, but
you're sick fella.
It's twisted mind. But yeah, so give us I know you've had a lot, so give us some of your thoughts about what the go is. I know recent times anyway, you've sort of been disinterested. Last week's bye was probably came at a good time for you personally, but what's the overall feeling coming from Carlton at the moment?
Look, the supporters, we're just completely fed up with what's going on. You just know what's going to happen. It's the same. I feel like a broken record because I'm saying the same thing every week. It's like the same thing keeps happening. Their defensive structures are terrible. They get scored against way too easily. The effort, like the tackling, it's just like, what is going on? Like there's a lot of talent in that team, and something's not right, whether it's communication coming down from the coaches. I think David Teague's in big trouble now, and if you can't even motivate your team after a bye and the couple of weeks that we had with the review going on and being in the news, and got some serious issues, and I think that all filters down. I think there's a miscommunication between the coaches and the players. So there's no trust, I think, within the playing group as well. I don't know. I don't know. It's ridiculous. But then you look at the main issue that's going on. It's very obvious to all us fans and everyone out in public. But why aren't they doing anything about it? It's just the same stuff every week. It's becoming embarrassing and spineless, to say the least. All Carlton supporters, we're not angry anymore. We're just hurt and fed up. And we just don't have the energy to care anymore, because I certainly don't. I didn't watch a second of that game on the weekend because I just knew what was going to happen. Been like this for too long, and I know no different in my life. It might have been a couple of years there where we played finals, but apart from that, I don't know any different to what's going on now. And and I think sacking David Teague, I don't know if that's going to solve everything, but something needs to happen. There needs to be a circuit breaker, because you can't go through an external review and have nothing change. So tough times, but all you can do is hope. If you've got hope, you've got nothing. So
yeah, well, incredibly tough times. And we've already seen one change with the external review with an assistant coach dropping off already. That was last week. So Interesting to see who goes next or what changes are made next. But from what I'm seeing, it's almost as if Carlton are so certain that their structure and their plan will click into motion and it will work, that they're not willing to change while it's not working. It's like they're like, it's only a matter of time before it clicks. But how long can you keep waiting on that to click? You know what I mean? If you're not winning games, if you're putting on performances like we've seen, how long can you keep waiting for that structure to click? If that's what it is, but that's what it looks like because like you said, it's pretty obvious what it is from an outsider's point of view. You look at the club and you're like, well, you fix it 1, 2, 3, these three things, bang, the whole game is completely different, but they don't change it every week. It's the same thing, like you said. So for me, it feels like they're just really determined to stick to the structure that they've got, and they're just waiting for it to click. But there's only so long you can wait before everyone gives up.
Yeah, but what is the structure?
Well, I don't know. That's the thing. I don't have the answer for that.
Yeah, like they just don't look. They just look like they don't know what they're doing out there. It's the intent. Like on the weekend, GWS had a lot more disposals than we did, and we still lost the tackle count and got smashed. Apparently, the pressure differential between the two teams was the biggest gap by any team since 2015. So
It just seems
damning.
like a lack of effort.
Yeah, lack of effort. Players just don't want to defend. They don't want to play for each other or the coaches. I don't know. There's something deeper going on in there culturally, and yeah, it's clearly affected because we know everyone. We all know there's no sugarcoating it. There's a lot of great talent on that team. I mean, you got arguably the best defender in the comp. You got the best forward in the comp. You've got Paddy Cripps, who's been the best player in the competition for a while and hasn't been at his best the last year or so, but everyone knows how good he is. Sam Walsh is probably the best up-and-coming midfielder in the comp. Like, everything's there.
Williams.
I mean, they haven't been great, but like we all know what they're capable of. You got Jack Martin as well, who's a pretty good player. He's been injured a lot this year, and then you got young players like Zach Fisher coming through as well. Like they're all there. Like the talent's there. It's just not happening. And yeah, it comes down to that. Yeah, everyone's like, yeah, the coach always cops it, but I think the coach has to cop it in this because you're not getting the bit. You've got a Ferrari and you're not driving it, pretty much.
Essentially,
yeah.
So essentially, I was big.
He doesn't know how to drive it. I mean,
I've said it numerous times that I don't think sacking the coach is the answer because I've seen Richmond go through it and it didn't work, and Carlton have done it recently too. From when it was it Rats, and then you got Malthouse and you sacked him. You got Bolton, you sacked him, and you got Teague. Is sacking the coach really the answer? But if it's not the game plan that's the problem, it's the players aren't listening to the game plan Teague's putting in motion. If they're not listening to him, then unfortunately it means they don't respect him. And yeah, at the end of the day, he might have the right game plan in mind, but if the players aren't putting it into motion, then it does come back to him, I think. So something's going to have to happen there, whether it's he moves on or he gets better support around him. I'm not sure what the answer is, but something needs to happen.
Yeah, because I don't know. It's so obvious for all of us to see what is actually like the main issue there, and I think the club will do something. They have to, especially announcing the review and everything, and with a new president coming in, he's going to want to do something to make a statement. So, I mean, I'm all for what they do. I mean, if T got the arse, I wouldn't be upset. If he stayed on, I wouldn't be upset. But there needs to be something that changes in one way or another. So tough times. Definitely didn't expect this year to turn out the way it has. But I mean, pretty used to it anyway.
Wow, that's it. And I guess on the other hand, one team we probably did expect to be as good as they have been recently is Geelong, and Gary Rohan has done it, not for the first time in his career, come up clutch after the siren. Unbelievable. Were you watching it live? I was watching it live.
Did you? As soon as it came off the boot, it looked like it was missing.
It looked like it missed, and I'm not going to lie, I was pretty happy. I wanted the doggies to win that one. I'm a bit over Geelong now, and I thought, oh, you beauties, shanked it. This is beautiful. And then it just curved back so nicely. Like it went straight through the middle, beautiful kick, and I can't fault him. It was unbelievable. And Cats fans would be up and about right now getting a big win over the Bulldogs like that. Yeah,
that was huge. And Gary Rohan's had an unbelievable season as well. I think he's going under the radar with Jeremy Cameron and Tom Hawkins there, but he's having a great season, and they've got the best forward line in the competition by a country mile. I think
so dangerous. So dangerous.
And Gary Rohan's probably the best set shot in the team too. So they probably would have preferred the ball in his hands anyway at that moment. So.
I think so. And especially on the side of the ground it was, because Jeremy Cameron's a left footer, if I'm not mistaken. So it would have been the wrong side of the ground for him. Tom Hawkins, you trust almost from everywhere. But Gary Rohan's such a reliable set shot that, he would have been my go-to man, I reckon. Yeah,
that was it was unbelievable. And then how's Chris Scott in the coach's box afterwards going absolutely nuts.
Can you believe people in the media were faulting him and saying that that's too much, you got to tone it down a bit? Why?
Who's saying that?
I can't remember who it was. I don't want to say a name because I can't remember exactly who it was, but why is that an issue? Why is a coach showing passion an issue? I know, I don't want to bring it back up again, but I know you weren't happy with the fact that Teague shows no emotion. I mean, isn't that a good thing? As a supporter, don't you want to see your coach up and about like that? Yeah,
absolutely. And when you see a coach up and about like that, it usually correlates to a team being good. Like you look at all the passionate coaches there are, and usually the team that they're coaching is a good team. Yeah, because the coach cares so much about that team, and the players feed off it. So, mate, I reckon if Teague won the flag, he'd probably still just sit there like a stunned mullet. So, but yeah, no, I love it. I love that Chris Scott does that. It was good. I reckon
it's good for the game.
Should be more of it.
Yeah, I'd like to see more coaches do it for mine. Just not against Richmond. That'd be nice.
No, I'd love that. What about another team that's in a they're and rightly so starting to cop a bit of flack now. Gold Coast.
It's about time. They've flown under the radar in terms of being pretty awful this year and not meeting expectations is what I'm trying to spit out. They've been shocking, and I don't know. Once again, I don't know what the answer is. I don't know why they're not performing as well as they should be, but something's not being done right up at the Gold Coast, and now there's big questions. And right after their big boss man, Tony Cochrane, said he laughed at the fact that they were talking about a 19th team in Tasmania or something, saying, to be no good down there. Well, you opened your mouth a bit too soon because then you come out and get pumped on the weekend by 50 points to Port. And what have you shown in the last? How long? They've been 12 years in the comp nearly now.
Yeah, yeah. What?
Haven't won a final.
2009 or
9 or
10?
10, yeah, and they haven't won a final yet. So,
yeah.
Do you give them? I know they'll talk about it in the media. Do you give them another 5 years and say if nothing happens, see you later? They had 7,000 people at the game on the weekend. That's nothing.
It's not good. It's not good at all. When you look at what the Giants have done, after coming in a year after him, it's not great. And I think. I feel like if the young players that they've got now, that core of like Ben King and Rankin and Lukosius, if they all want to leave, then I think they just need to pack them up, because they're just going to keep getting their young guns just leaving, and no one wants to be there. So what's the point in having a team up there if no one wants to play there?
Well, I can't even speak. It's honestly become a development squad, the Gold Coast.
Yeah.
Players go there, develop for a couple of years, and then you pick them up. It's like an academy team.
Well, they just go there for the lifestyle.
Yeah.
As well.
The ones go later in their career sometimes go there for the lifestyle, and then the young guys might go there, just because they get drafted there, they'll hang around, the lifestyle's good for a couple of years, and I think, no, I'm better than this club, I'm going to go move somewhere else. And we've seen a lot of other codes as well, whether it's soccer and basketball, I think it was as well. Both teams in the Gold Coast don't last for whatever reason, and I don't know if the AFL's just trying to push through it. I've been a big advocate for keeping the Gold Coast. I wanted to see them thrive, but after this year as well, it's tough to sort of mount a case for them anymore, because you forget how long they've been in the league sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they haven't played any finals yet, and every time they've gotten close, they've come out the next year and just sort of dwindled back down the ladder again. And they've got all the talent, but like you said, every year these talented players end up leaving. When Richmond took 3 of them at the moment, we've got Lynch, Prestier, and Caddy, who were all pretty good when they were at the Suns, and they all left, and Ablett left, and Ablett did as much as he could do there, to be fair.
Yeah.
But good players leave the Gold Coast. They don't want to stay.
Yeah, exactly. And then you look at Tasmania the other day, the Hawthorn-Essendon game, and the crowd that they got there, and the passion that the Tasmanians have for the game is huge, like compared to Queenslanders. So I don't know. Do you just replace Gold Coast with Tasmania, or do you keep Gold Coast and then add Tasmania? It's a real tough one. But personally, I think Tasmania should have a team before the Gold Coast, anyway, because it's a footy state.
Well, that was my thinking. I've always been an advocate for Tassie having a team. They've been the most deserving state that doesn't already have one by a country mile, because, like you said, they're so passionate. So many AFL players come from Tassie as well, like some of the greats, like the Rewalts, Richo came from Tassie. I know there's plenty more, but they're the key ones.
Just the Richmond one.
But, lots of key players have come from Tassie. It's so much support for it down there. And I get the point behind putting it on the Gold Coast. They figured, we've already got a market in Tasmania. Let's build somewhere we don't have a market and try and get one. But it was always going to be a long shot, especially with the amount of passion for the NRL up in Queensland. So it was always going to be a struggle. It's a much safer bet putting it in Tassie. You're going to get the support around it. People are going to jump ship and go straight onto the Tasmanian team because they've finally got someone local to support. Yeah,
exactly. I think it was the first time Essendon had played in Tassie for 20 years. So it was the first time Essendon fans that live in Tassie got to see him in 20 years. It's ridiculous. So Tasmanians shouldn't be starved of footy like they have been. So
no,
I'd be awful. But at the same time, I love the Gold Coast. I love, I love what they're trying to do, and the team that they're creating, and
a beautiful stadium too.
Yeah, and just the Gold Coast lifestyle. Who doesn't love the Gold Coast lifestyle? It's all set up for them. But geez, it's been so long now. Their highest finish on the ladder is 12th. ever.
Yeah, that's terrible.
No, even like with Gary Ablett in the team, so they still couldn't make finals or get it higher than 12th. So, geez, yeah, it's almost like this is their last. Yeah, they need to hold on to these batch of youngsters, and if they can't, then geez, where to from there? So,
is Stewie Junior to be looked at?
yeah, I think so.
I like Stewie.
Yeah,
I
everyone
really
loves
like
Stewie G because he's just not copying it because everyone loves Stewie, especially after the doco. He was great.
He was
I mean,
fantastic.
yeah.
Well, I mean, he got caught pissing on the side of a building last year, and that got swept under the rug as well because everyone just loves Stewie G.
Yeah,
So
just a larrikin.
yeah, I think he probably does need to be looked at, I guess, because like you said, there's been no results. But I also don't like saying that because I love Stewie.
Yeah, but no, they need to. I'm glad they're copping a bit of flack now, which rightly so. And they play North Melbourne this week, so it's a huge game for them or for both teams as well. So Gold Coast can't get over North, and
yeah, something's definitely wrong.
Yeah. Another team that's doing a lot better than the Gold Coast and a lot better than what we thought. The Essendon Footy Club.
Yeah, I know.
Give them some credit.
Pains me to say this every week. They've been just smashing expectations week in, week out, and playing some really, really good footy.
Yeah, no, they are playing great. I mean, they beat a great Hawthorn team the other day, and got within 40 points of Richmond the other week. So they're doing great things.
I was waiting for something like that. I was waiting for that. I think the hype could probably be toned down a little bit.
Yeah.
They haven't really. I mean, they've had some good. I mean, they beat West Coast and West Coast. That was huge.
That's a great win.
That's a fantastic win.
Yeah.
You know, that's massive. But yeah, so they haven't. I mean, everyone's gone on about the win on the weekend against Hawthorn. Hawthorn aren't flash hot themselves. So
Carlton beat Hawthorn, so they're not special.
yeah, it's not the most impressive win beating Hawthorn.
And North beat them.
Well, there you go. Yeah, that's when you know. And they're all getting up and about for it. They're calling Jake Stringer the Essendon's Dustin Martin, which I reckon Jake Stringer's had about 2 of those games in his career, and Dustin Martin's probably had about 55 of them. But, that's another story. Oh, look, they're still smashing expectations, Essendon, and they're a lot higher and lighter than we tipped them to be. You tipped them to be wooden spoon, and I had them bottom 3 easy.
Yep.
And at the moment, they're not far out of the 8, which is very surprising.
Yeah. Oh, they're a big chance to make it. They're down there. They are playing good. All jokes aside, they are doing a lot better than what we thought they are. Their youngsters are putting in some great performances, and they've got a big lift in players like Darcy Parish as well, who's taken his game to another level, and obviously Stringer as well, who was awesome on the weekend. And then you got Harry Jones, who just got the rising star this round, and Archie Perkins, Nick Cox. They've got a good young team and got some superstars in there. Zach Merritt re-signed 6 years. That was big for him. Yeah, so they are good, but the hype around them over these sorts of games is a bit ridiculous. I mean, they could lose to Melbourne by 100 points this weekend, and it'd still be a great effort. They got so close.
Yeah. I know what you mean. you mean. I guess for an Essendon supporter, they have been deprived of success lately as well, not winning a final.
Yeah.
And is it nearly 7,000 days? Surely it's
I can get the exact figure up. Give me a sec, but
I'll give you some time to search for it. But so they haven't had success in a little while now. So I understand the hype, and these young talent that like the guys you just mentioned they've jumped up to not stardom. I don't want to say they're stars yet, but they've developed so quickly for young talents, and I can understand why they're so excited.
Yeah, 6,133.
Okay, so it's still a while, 7,000 days. We've got a bit while to go.
So, that's enough about the Bombers. They have been great. All jokes aside, bit of confusion in the VFL over the weekend.
There was in the Richmond-Williamstown VFL game. For those that were watching, it was on the Sunday afternoon, and it was a tied ball game when Williamstown had a shot for goal after the siren. And this was a rule that I wasn't aware of because I guess I've never seen it before, and I think you mentioned you didn't know about it either. So what's happened is the Williamstown players kicked for goal, it's dropping short, and one of his teammates has punched it across the line to get 1 point on the board, and Williamstown win by a point. Apparently, if you're the team that's going for goal, as soon as you touch the ball, the ball becomes a dead ball and it doesn't, no score counts. But if you're the opposition team, you can spoil it away from goal. And I guess once you spoil it away from goal, it's dead anyway, I guess. But the fact, so Williamstown spoiled it over the line, thought they got the winning point, started to sort of celebrate, and they go, nope, dead ball doesn't count, tied game. And that was big news to me. I can't believe in 25 years of football, I've never known that to be a rule.
You just never see it.
Well,
that's what it is. And it is bizarre. You'd think that would count.
Well, you'd think so.
But
you'd think if you can, Yeah, I don't know. But it is a weird one.
But
though.
then when you see players kicking the ball after a siren goes, and you see players in like the goal square getting there to make sure like it doesn't cross or like doesn't bounce through or like gets touched over the line, are they just doing that for nothing then?
Well, I guess the opposition's there just in case. Yeah, they can punch it.
Yeah, but then
across.
but like the team that's kicking the ball in, then
Well,
what are they? Are they what? Do they
I guess they're maybe
nothing?
to shepherd the opposition out so they can't spoil it.
maybe.
I don't know. That would have
I
been the
don't know.
best option for Williamstown then was to shepherd the Richmond players out of the contest.
Did any Richmond players go up for it?
Yeah, there was one.
Okay.
So the main contest, it was two big tall blokes. I can't remember who they were to be honest, but it was a Williamstown and a Richmond player. Williamstown guy got the fist on it first, went over the goals, thought they won by a point.
Yeah,
no, they didn't.
okay.
So
Yeah.
ended up being a tight game, but it was a pretty good game in the end. It was close all day. It was Williamstown actually had the jump most of the day. Richmond came back a little bit, ebbed and flowed, but it was a really good day of VFL footy, especially out in Williamstown, which is really windy out there.
Very windy and cold.
Conditions are terrible out there for football, I think. Anyway, I've played out there a couple of times in under 19s, I think, so a while ago now.
Yeah.
But it's very windy and hard to play out there, but it was a good game regardless.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to round 15. We're back to normal rounds of footy now. The bye rounds are done. We've got the full 9 games now. Yeah, it was. It was only how many games? 4 or 5 games on the weekend.
It was 5 on the weekend, and it's 3 weeks. 3 weeks in a row now, isn't it? Bye weeks. 3 weeks.
Yeah, that was 3 weeks. So
too much.
Too much. But yeah, we're back to full rounds now, and starts on Thursday night. Another ripper. We've got Brisbane and Geelong at the Gabba.
This is going to be the best game of the week.
Yeah,
I'm putting it
easily.
Hands down. And this is a massive test for Geelong. If they can go to Queensland at the Gabba and knock off Brisbane, not that no one thinks they're the real deal already, but that'll just cement them.
That'll solidify them as probably the flag favourites, I think.
Yeah, like that. I'm thinking Geelong's better than Melbourne at this stage, and that's ambitious considering where Melbourne's sitting at the moment. But if they can knock Brisbane off at the Gabba, then I'm all for the Cats.
Yeah. I think Brisbane though will get the job done just because it's at the Gabba and they're so good there.
Yeah, I think so as well. And that home ground advantage, people don't realise that the Gabba is actually quite a bit of a fortress. So that they do have that advantage, and I'm going to give it to Brisbane for that reason. But I think it's going to be a ripper.
Yeah, it'll be a great game. Friday night we've got Richmond and St Kilda at the MCG. Before we get into the Victorian games, is there confirmation that these games are staying in Victoria? Do we know?
No, so I'm not sure if they're staying 100%. I think they will be. I haven't heard anything saying
it is still
not.
early in the week, so we don't.
It is still early in the week, but on 7 News just before we recorded, they were saying that the AFL is making a decision on capacity for these games, which makes me believe that
they're going to be here.
They're going to be here.
Yeah,
so
right.
I'm hoping they are, because I've been offered box seats for this one, so I really want to be there for this. I don't want to miss out. Going to be a good game, hopefully for us. We get a few big players back. I'm pretty excited, and we beat St Kilda by 86 points last time, so I expect nothing less this time around at the G.
I think it'll be the exact same. Saints are like Carlton. They're pathetic at the moment, so you can't give them any reason to win this. And obviously you guys on the rebound as well.
Yeah, well,
that loss.
we really need to bounce back, and we don't have any room for fault going forward now if we want to really make an impact come finals time. So we've got to make sure we win every game, and if we can get percentage, and teams like this are the ones we're going to get it against. So I expect us to come back big with some of the names we've got coming back into the side with Lynch, Prestia, Asprey, and a couple others. Yeah, I think we're going to get the job done quite comfortably.
Yep. Saturday afternoon, we've got North Melbourne and Gold Coast, as we said before. It's down in Tassie.
Again, I'm stoked about this.
Third game in a row
good
at Bloodstone Arena.
Good on them. I'm glad that Tassie's finally getting some footy. And I'm glad that Gold Coast is travelling down there as well. I hope North beat them.
Yeah.
I
think they will.
I like Gold Coast, but I just reckon their chairman's a bit of a knob, so I'd love to see them get done now, just for his comments during the week.
I think North have been good the last couple of weeks, especially in Tassie. So I think they're going to win. I think they'll beat Gold Coast, and that'll just put more heat on them.
Well, North were within a kick of Brisbane during the week, weren't they?
Yeah, they did all right, and then Brisbane just sort of kicked away a little bit.
That's what experienced teams are going to do. Brisbane are up top of the ladder and North are bottom, so you expect that. But I reckon North are a genuine chance, and they're actually favourites if you look at sports odds here. So
probably the first time this year.
Oh, it has to be the first time they're favourites. So I'm going to go North, go Moff Melbourne.
Yeah, me too. Later that day, we got Collingwood and Freo at Marvel.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's a tough game to tip this one.
I wonder if Collingwood supporters are going to complain about the trek to Marvel like Richmond did.
Yeah, they probably will.
I don't understand why interstate teams come to Melbourne and play. I don't know why they play them at Marvel. Is it because the AFL owns Marvel Stadium, or Is that do they own it or they?
Just I think it's just they're playing Freo. It's like a low drawing team.
Yeah, but why? I don't know. Why take the home ground advantage away from the home side?
Yeah, that's true.
Like I know there's still the travel factor, but the home ground advantage gets taken away there. I think that's
there'd be
a bit unfair.
contracts in place with teams on how many games they play at each ground.
Yeah, there would be.
So they'd have to play a certain amount of games at Marvel.
Yeah, no, there would be. There would be. So I don't like it personally. I still travel there, so I'm not one of those Richmond supporters, but I don't like it. But makes it hard to tip because if it was at the G, you'd almost say Collingwood.
Yeah.
But which Collingwood's going to come out? The Collingwood from Queen's Birthday or Collingwood we've seen the rest of the year?
Yeah, well, then you could say the same about Freo. Freo don't know how to travel.
Well, I was about to say, Freo away from home, I almost would never tip them.
Yeah.
So I'm going Collingwood for that reason.
Yeah.
Freo can't travel.
Yeah.
And Collingwood are coming off good form. So I'm going to, give them the benefit of the doubt that they'll continue that.
Yeah, me too. Saturday night, we've got Essendon and Melbourne at the MCG. This is going to be a great game.
Well, now I've just realised actually the Collingwood Freo game was twilight and this is at night. So that's probably why they can't play at the G.
Yeah, that makes sense. You'd rather have Essendon and Melbourne at the G.
2 Melbourne teams at the G. Yeah. Okay. I take everything I said back.
Yeah.
This is going to be another one. Like you said, Melbourne, you'd expect to get the easy win here with the form they've had. But if Essendon can put on a good show, then, geez, the hype around them is going to be next level.
Imagine they beat Melbourne.
Oh, don't say that.
Imagine they get within 50 points. The hype will be unreal.
Well, they got within 40 of Richmond, so if they can get within 50 of Melbourne, even better.
Imagine if Nick Cox gets a kick. Wow. Social media's going to light up.
Rodney Kind.
Don't.
Better than Sarge.
Nick Kind is playing good football. And just leave it at that. You don't need to bring Adam Sargent to it. What were we saying?
Melbourne for me.
I think Melbourne will win this one. Port Adelaide and Sydney also on Saturday night at Adelaide Oval. I think Port back at home.
Yeah, I was going to say, going to be a good game. Swans have been great all year, but I can't tip against Port Adelaide when they're playing in Adelaide. It doesn't matter who they're playing. I'll always tip them. So, yeah, Port Adelaide for me.
Yep. Sunday afternoon, we've got GWS and Hawthorn at Giant Stadium. Yeah, I think GWS here quite comfortably.
You'd expect them to continue their good form and get the win. They're still pushing for a top 8 spot too.
Yeah,
they're
they
only
are.
just sitting outside.
Yeah, they're not far out.
They're 2 points behind Richmond, I think.
Yep.
So, yeah, they'll want to win this.
Yeah. Also on that day, we've got West Coast and the Western Bulldogs at Optus Stadium.
This is going to be good.
Great game as well.
Huge.
Yeah, this is just as good as Brisbane Geelong, this one.
Absolutely. I'm going to go the Doggies.
Ooh.
Yeah. From the way I saw them play at GMHBA on Friday night, I think it was, they were phenomenal. And West Coast, I'm still not completely convinced on. I know they rolled ass, but the Dogs are in better form than what we are at the moment, and I just reckon they can go over there and get the job done. Controversial because it's at Optus, but yeah, I'm going to go the Dogs.
Yeah, I'm going to go West Coast just because it's over there, and they're starting to get all their players back now as well. I think Luke Shuey's not far off or could be in this week. I think West Coast for me. And then the last game of the round, lucky last, we've got Carlton and Adelaide at Marvel Stadium.
Saving the best for last.
Oh, yeah. The game we don't care about.
You going?
No.
I'll see you there.
I won't be going. Definitely not.
Carlton have to win this.
Well, but I've got no reason to tip them. Adelaide have been good.
No, Adelaide have been very good. If this was at Adelaide Oval, I'd be tipping
You'd
Adelaide.
definitely be tipping Adelaide at Adelaide Oval.
I think I'd be tipping Adelaide. I'm giving it to Carlton because I think they have to win. Sure,
we've been having to win for weeks now.
I know we keep saying this, but surely at what point does the backlash have to hit the players? And I think we've got to do something. Back at home, hopefully in front of some fans. I don't know.
No one will go, mate.
Yeah, I know.
Carlton fans are fed up.
It wouldn't surprise me if no one rolls up, but I'm going to give it to them because Sportsbet got them as favourites.
I'm going Adelaide. I just can't. I just don't have a reason. Like, there's no evidence of them playing. Like, I don't have a reason to tip them.
They might play Mitch McGovern against his old side.
Please, make me throw up. All right, that is it. That's round 15.
Thank God.
That is round 15. We're flying through the rounds. It's getting close to the pointy end, as Dusty's just gone flying off the roadcaster.
He's taken a fall.
we'll thank our sponsors before we finish up.
We will. So we've got Million Mar as per usual.
And Retro Jet Prince, go ends. Woo! And make sure you leave us a review. Subscribe to us on iTunes, YouTube, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Keep the reviews coming as well. We can't thank you guys enough for sending them in. And enjoy round 15. We'll chat next week.